Yeah, I'm deeply suspicious of groups of people coming to the truth in anything because and it's not to say groups are bad. Humans are cooperators by nature. We need groups to get things done. But groups need consensus. A group that does not have consensus will fall apart. So a group will not admit its mistakes. It will not admit that it was wrong. It will not pivot. It's not a truth-seeking entity. Individuals can seek truth, and then based on that, they can choose to cooperate with others for limited periods of times to effectuate that truth or to have something come out of it. But if you're really looking for truth, it's the opposite of looking for social approval. Truth requires feedback. It requires error correction. Where does that feedback come from? Well, there are three sources of feedback in reality. There's two that are very natural and one that we've invented in modern times. The two that are natural are nature. If I drop an apple, it falls to the ground. There's a truth there of gravity. I can't deny it. That's nature giving me feedback. So as a scientist, a physical scientist, I would naturally gravitate towards that truth. Haha, no pun intended. But there's also a truth of social approval, which is if I want to get along with my group, then I can take feedback from people. Like, did you like that? Did you approve of what I did? And then the one that we've invented as a truth-seeking mechanism is free markets, where in a free market, it's not a mob. It's actually the opposite. The applause comes from the mob, which is a group of people who are thinking the same and trying to coordinate. A free market is where individuals are voting differently, and they're voting on a merit basis, and they're being punished for bad predictions, and they're being rewarded for good predictions. So free markets are also a source of truth-seeking in that, for example, if I think Alphabet is a great stock and I buy it, but I turn out to be wrong, then the truth of the market will punish me as the feedback comes in and I will lose my money. So these are sort of the three mechanisms you have for getting feedback from the environment. They're not all equal. There's actually a fourth, which is the part of nature, which is just survival. But we break that out into its own thing called evolution, survival of the fittest, right? I think the natural truth-seeking mechanisms will lead you to truth. The social one will lead you to social approval, but it will not lead you to truth. It can lead you into all kinds of dead ends. And unfortunately, most people not only get their feedback from there, they actually get their theories from there. So that's what I call the difference between reasoning from first principles versus reasoning by proxy. If you're reasoning from first principles, which is what you should do for things that you really care about, then you would examine the truth of the statement for yourself. You would be skeptical. You would test it. And then if it turns out to be true, you would know that because you get feedback from the right places. And if it turns out to be false, you get punished. But if you're getting your feedback from other people, you're usually going to end up with the wrong answer. So examples of this are like there are entire professions where all your feedback comes from other people. Politics is a prime example of that. Anything political, social sciences. I'm deeply suspicious of anything that starts with the word social. Social sciences, socialism, social engineering, social justice, you name it, because this is all about groupthink. So it's not a mechanism for truth, it's a mechanism for coordination or cooperation. Often it means we're going to beat the truth into you, or you better get along with us and our truth or else.